Welcome to this week's edition of Pit Stop with me, Jaco van der Merwe. I am joined by Mark Jones and ever-present Charl Bosch.
Ever-present?
Yes. Can't remember you missing an episode yet.
Oh, I can.
Oh,
a couple of ones.
Okay.
Where I wasn't wanted.
So on the agenda this week is towards the very end of its life cycle. Let's call it that. The ever-popular, not present, Toyota Hilux, and obviously in GR Sport or GR-S, call it the wide track GR-S, call it the GR-S III, whatever it is. It's been rolled out, Charl, and should we say this is probably the last little nameplate, little something before we can get the new Hilux soon?
But potentially, yes. There was rumours at one point dating back to 2 or 3 years that it might be a GR, not a GR Sport, a full-on GR Hilux. And then the president of Gazoo Racing said that is not going to happen. There's no such thing. The rumours are all false. There's not going to be a car or a Hilux positioned above the GR Sport. There's no GR Hilux, nothing. So this is potentially the final for current Hilux, which has been around for over a decade, and GR Sport will remain exactly that.
Mark, this GR structure of Toyota, it could be a little confusing because he's speaking about the GR Corolla, the full-on GRs. GR Corolla, GR Yaris, GR Supra, GR86. Then we get the GR Sport, which is not supposed to be the performance one, basically more aesthetically pleasing, like the Corolla Cross, like the LC300. But the difference with the Hilux is it does have a little power to it.
Exactly.
Slightly.
Yeah, exactly. I think Toyota's a little bit in between this sort of power war. I think if somebody else reacted besides Ford and it became a bit of a more global thing that, if you're not sort of having a 200 plus kilowatt bakkie, you're kind of not fighting in the right area anymore. But Ford has done exceptionally well with their new Raptor. I mean, their last Raptor was very capable in that, but it was horribly slow and underpowered. So I think Toyota, they've given it a bump in power. Mm-hmm. I mean, 165 and 550 from 150 and 500. So it's got a little bump in power. It certainly looks the part. But Toyota's never been forced to play their hand any more than that, and I can't see them doing so.
No, because the thing is with that, and this is something that I think peeves Toyota off, and it certainly us as the motoring press as well, is Toyota were from the beginning. They said it right from the start when the original was launched in 2019, the original GR Sport. Please don't compare this to the Ford Ranger Raptor. It's not a rival for the Raptor. It doesn't have the same off-road suspension bits and drive modes as the Raptor. That wasn't it. With the GR, with the second gen, came with the first one with the 165 kilowatts. Yes, they uprated the suspension a little bit. With this new one, it's going to, I've already seen comparisons being drawn with the Raptor. It is inevitable that that's going to happen. It's the same with the Isuzu D-Max AT35. Yeah. This GR Sport 3 is more of a D-Max rival.
Let's just put this in context. If the Raptor's not in play here.
Yes.
Now, it had all those off-road enhancements, which I would say the timing on the first Hilux GR-S was a bit off because it followed very closely to the Raptor, and people just assumed.
Yes.
Yeah. Same with the original AT35 from Isuzu, very much the same. So now there's been a lot of new players joining this game. So with the new Raptor just blowing everything out of the water, let's leave that out of the equation.
Yes.
I mean, power is stupid, off-road capability is absolutely stupid. We've got the GR-S here now. We've got the AT35 D-Max from Isuzu.
Yeah.
That's got even bigger wheels than the GR-S.
35-inch wheels, as its name says, yeah.
And then in the Ranger stable, we've got like the Wild Track X, who's got that rugged all-terrain tire standard.
Yes.
And then now the Tremor.
Yes.
So what would you say is the GR-S's closest rival?
Well, it's a D-Max AT35. If you look at the flared wheel arches and the extra or the tuned suspension, the little bit of lift and so on, and the fact that there's no real multi-mode off-road system, if I could put it that way. It's basically low range, high range, end of story, traction control here and there. That's like for like. It is AT35. The Ranger Wildtrak X is a little bit of a downward alternative, if I can put it that
More
way.
city slicker kind. It's
Yes.
got a bit of it's a more street vibe. You're not going to go and climb some mountain or feel like you can in your Wildtrak X.
No.
It's got the show, but it doesn't quite have the under the bonnet engineering.
Correct.
That these other.
And it doesn't have the stance, it doesn't have
Yes.
the look, it doesn't have the image, if I could put it that way, of a GR Sport or an AT35. It is also that in between.
Yeah.
In between, it has to balance between want to be a Raptor, or as I call it, a Raptor Light, and then with the luxury of a wild track.
Yeah.
That's the whole. It's a not difficult scenario, but basically AT35 and GR Sport, they're kind of on there, and there's no real Ford version. It's either Wildtrak X or you step up to the maximum, which is Raptor.
But there's quite a price difference between those two.
It's quite a difference.
The GR-S is few.
It's $1 million exactly,
Few
999,000.
yes.
The Raptor is 1.3 or 1.2 or
and
something.
The AT35?
That's even more. That's 1.2, quite 1.2, 1.3 there or thereabouts as well. So yeah, the Hilux looks like a bargain compared to the AT35, and it's got more power and it's got more torque.
So,
And
Mark, who buys what here?
Yeah, no, listen.
Who's for who? I mean,
Yeah, I'm at a loss. I've got to be honest. I think if you're shopping at R1 million, I mean, not so long ago, we were like, oh my goodness gracious, there's going to be R1 million bakkie. Now there's a whole host of them over $1 million.
Yeah.
So,
well, the first Merc bakkies with a few
Yes.
extras was
Yeah.
$1 million, and then the 190k kilowatt Amarok. They were.
Correct.
Now it's like par for the course.
yeah, now R1 million bakkie, pick and choose. But I think if you're shopping in that league and you've got $1 million, I mean, that's 20,000 rand a month installment for like the next 6 years of your life. It's not pocket change. I just don't know where these guys are going. You see a lot of Raptors on the road, or
Yeah.
as many as they can bring, they sell. But I don't see them going off-road seriously. I mean, the guys like to showboat. It's a have 6 brandies kind of watch this move bakkie facts. The fact that Toyota and Isuzu at least offer something that looks like that is a good thing. But if you're chasing performance and you want all the grunt and whatever, all of that, you're going to look at a Raptor.
Oh yes, definitely.
But if you're a loyalist to Toyota, then we're driving one at the moment. And if you look at it, I mean, wow, it's got all the presence in the world. But it's like the schoolyard bully. You know, it's got all this shape and muscle. But when you get down to it, not a lot's going to happen when you put your foot down.
Yeah.
Compared to what everybody's comparing it to, which is Raptor. And so we've got to keep saying GR-S Sport, but ignore Raptor. But, R1 million or just over R1 million, you can stretch to 1.1 or 1.2. Those guys can stretch into Raptor territory. But I think their problem is they won't drive a Ford unless they've got like a shotgun to their head. So Toyota remain popular. GR-S is what it is. And I think the loyalists will buy it, and they won't care for our problem with performance. They will dig it.
And the other thing is, now that it has this white track body and it's got the better suspension on it, Toyota have said when we were at the launch last month, we drove it over sand dunes and so on, and on a private beach. I will say that before we get people saying they are allowed to drive on beaches. No, it's a private one.
Not sure that changes that, but yes.
No, true, because people are still going to moan. But anyway, just thought I'd just bring it up. But Toyota have said that compared to the GR-S 2, if I can put it that, the old GR-S, the normal body one, that they have made it a bit more off-road biased. But what we found out, there's still a balance between off-road and on-road. It feels a lot better off-road. I mean, I had a GR Sport 2 as a December car a couple of years ago, and it felt very, very skittish off-road, even with no load on the back. Even with when you turn it into a high-range four-wheel drive, it made it a little bit better, but not a lot. With the GR Sport 3, now that it's got the better suspension, the track is wider and so on, it feels a little bit better off-road. And that suspension does a much better job than the old GR-S 2. And I think from that standpoint, this is now what the Toyota fans have been wanting. When it came out in 2022 in Australia, 2023 in Australia, this white track, people were saying, why are we having the normal one? Why can't we have that?
Yeah.
And I think Toyota have said, okay, well, now it's here. it's finally available, and I think this is what the Toyota fans have been waiting for.
Well, they've got kangaroos and dingo, so I don't know what more do they want in life.
I don't know either.
Pale.
And fairly average cricket players.
Yeah, rugby, not even.
I'm not going to comment on that.
rugby even worse,
You could
yeah.
comment on yourselves. I'm not taking that on.
Yeah, as Mark said, we've got that GR-S at the moment on test. We will put it through its paces. Of course, the GR-S II was the fastest production Hilux that we've ever tested.
Yeah.
We suspect this one could be slightly slower because of it's heavier, because of the wider track and all of that. But we'll keep you up to date as soon as we get those figures in. Thanks so much for listening to Pit Stop this week. If you like this podcast, you can go and like it. You can also share it or decide to follow the Citizen News' YouTube channel. Thank you very much for listening. Cheers.